All right, Mr. Clark, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am Maddie Herndon, and I'm the SLP gathering the case history today. So basically what that means is for 15 to 20 minutes, we will talk about James, right?
Right.
James.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, James.
And we will gather information on his history with family and household, like things like that, his communication skills, and just general information. I really appreciate you coming in today, and I can't wait to get started.
Sure. That'd be great.
Okay, so the child's name is James, right?
James. Yep. Clark.
Okay.
C-L-A-R-K.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his date of birth?
His date of birth is 10/11.
You can look at the paper.
It doesn't say. Let's see what. 2013.
Okay. Perfect. All right, fall baby.
Yeah.
Okay, and parents or guardians' names?
That would be me. He lives with me.
Perfect.
And a sister.
Okay.
He has a sister.
And it was Trice, right? Your name?
Yes.
Did anyone refer you to the office today?
Yes. His pediatrician. That is Dr. Smith, Aaron Smith, with an E, Aaron with an E. And then also Jackie Jordan, his second grade teacher.
Awesome.
As well.
Does he like school?
Oh yeah, he loves school. He likes the social activity, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
See his friends, so.
Perfect. Okay. So his pediatrician and his teacher both referred him. So what were their concerns, or specifically why did they refer him?
James has, he communicates well, but he has trouble organizing his thoughts.
Okay, yeah.
And so that causes some problems when it comes to written communication, getting it out on paper. And also just with, he can tend to ramble a little bit. But as far as speaking,
absolutely fine.
it's clear.
Yeah, that's actually something we see very commonly, especially in young boys. Maybe gathering thoughts can be more difficult to put into words on paper, but
Right.
communication-wise in sports and school and stuff, they don't really struggle at all.
Right.
So that is good. Okay. So how would you describe the clarity of his speech? You'd say it's very easy to understand. No
Everyone
speech.
understands it, right?
So it's more of language, you'd say.
Yeah, I guess you would categorize it as that.
Okay.
Because his speech is clear. Everyone understands him. There's no one ever says they can't understand him.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so has James ever been hospitalized in the past 2 years? Any surgeries or anything?
Yes, he in the past 2 years. Yes, he had his tonsils out.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of another time, but he had his tonsils out a year ago.
Perfect.
And so that's when he was in the hospital.
It is so good to do that young if you're going to do it.
If you're going to do it, I agree.
Okay. Does James have any kind of like chronic condition or anything like that?
No, allergies. We're treating for allergies, seasonal allergies, which is typical in West Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Does James have any history of ear infections or anything?
Yes, he does. Back when he was 3, I believe it was, we had tubes. Yeah, 3. We had tubes put in his ears. The first 2 to 3 years of his life, he had chronic ear infections. And so we had the tubes put in when he was 3, and then since then, he's had no trouble.
Awesome. Goodness, allergies and tubes. Does he play like outside sports or anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Has James ever been seen for a speech or hearing evaluation?
Yes, he's been evaluated through school.
Okay.
But school said he was average and didn't need therapy.
Okay.
But he seems to be smarter than average. But when you, I guess it's
Yeah, just processing, trying
Right.
to get those words out, it can be difficult.
right.
I'm sure that's frustrating for him. Okay, were there any complications during pregnancy or birth with James?
No,
Do you happen to know his weight at birth?
he was 8 pounds 3 ounces.
Perfect. At what age would you say he said his first words?
14 months,
Awesome. What about his first steps?
11 months.
Awesome.
Which that's fairly normal,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's really typical. Actually, we always see that boys actually have their motor development a lot faster than they have
Mhm.
words, and girls are typically the other way
Right.
around. So, okay, as a baby, did he play patty cake, peekaboo, anything like that?
Yes.
Really interactive.
Yes.
Okay, and then family-wise, who lives in the home? You said it was you and his
Me,
sister.
yeah, and he has a 5-year-old sister,
Perfect.
and it's the 3 of us.
Do they like to play together? Do they get
Oh,
along?
yeah, they do, but you know, typical sibling. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, he's 7, she's 5, and
Yeah.
arguing over toys and things like that. So
Oh yeah. I have an older brother, and we
That's
always
typical.
fought.
yeah, it's typical.
Yep. Okay. And the primary language,
English.
English.
hmm
Perfect. Is there any family history of speech or hearing issues?
Only thing I could think of with speech would be, it's probably really not speech, but some reading issues with his grandmother and his aunt both had trouble reading, and I don't know if they were ever diagnosed with dyslexia, but you might liken it to that,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Especially like reading, processing, it all falls under a similar
Absolutely.
category. So I
Mhm.
can see where that might be a struggle for him.
Right.
Okay, so he's in elementary school, right?
Yep, elementary.
James. Okay. What kind of toys or games does he like to play?
Typical of kids, I guess. He loves puzzles, putting puzzles together, board games, things like that. He loves to play outside. You had mentioned that earlier. He rides his bike a lot. Loves riding his bike. You know, just close by where I'll let him anyway. But
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like to get to know the feel of the child, you know, before I see
Yeah.
them, just because it makes them a lot more
Yeah.
comfortable to have things that
Yeah.
they're interested in.
and Legos too. I mean, that goes along with puzzles. Kind of, it's the same. You know, his motor skills seem to be good. I mean, he loves doing that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Okay, would you say there's any other relevant info about James' speech or language that I should know or anything
No,
like that?
nothing other than what we've
Yeah.
talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is just about all I need. I'm really excited to get to know James and see him, and maybe we can figure out some ways to really help him and get the ball rolling with his language and stuff like that.
Sounds great.
It was really nice to see you.
Yeah, good to
I'm
meet
so
you.
glad you came in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I don't even know if that took 10 minutes.